Guys, it's Monday of Holy Week, the week that leads up to Jesus' victory over Satan and the grave, and his freedom that he gives to all humanity who accept him. And I'm going to be reading to you out of John chapter 2. This is the account of Jesus cleansing the temple, clearing out all the merchants. This account is actually found in all four Gospels, which is unique because not all the Gospel writers talked about everything that Jesus did. So here's how it goes. It says, the Passover of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple, he found those who were selling oxen and sheep and pigeons, and the money changers sitting there in the temple. And making a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple with the sheep and the oxen. He poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. And he told those who sold pigeons, "Take these things away. Do not make my Father's house a house of robbers." And his disciples remembered what was written, that zeal for your house will consume me. And this is an important moment in Jesus' history for a couple of reasons. Number one, he actually was fulfilling prophecy from Psalm 69 verse 9, where it says that the zeal of the Lord will consume him. Zeal for the Lord's house will consume the Messiah. So him actually going in, this was him fulfilling a prophetic word about himself, and therefore affirming that he was the Messiah. Here's the other crazy thing. You see, we think like, well, Jesus was so angry, why would he drive these people out? The purpose of God's house was never to be a place of robbers and thieves. What does this mean? It means that the people who were buying and selling in this place, especially those who were selling, were actually taking advantage of those who were from the city or visiting the city to meet with God at the temple and make their offering. They were ripping them off. They were using false weights, and they were doing all kinds of shady dealings with the people who were coming. This doesn't represent the character and nature of God. This does not mean it's wrong to buy and sell in a church or even talk about money at all. This means that what we do in church needs to correctly and accurately represent the character of the Father. And Jesus, when he saw this, it grieved him to his heart because this was never God's intention. That his meeting place with the people, the place where his presence would dwell, needed to be a place where people were safe and encouraged. And here's what's crazy. It says that he goes on here. After clearing the temple, he actually starts doing what God's intention really is, and that is to teach and to edify and for people to be encouraged and know God. He even starts healing people. And this is the hardness of the Pharisees and Sadducees' hearts in this moment. They get upset because he starts actually doing what the intention of God's heart is instead of doing what was traditionally known in the temple. But Jesus, being Jesus, he understood and knew this, and he went ahead doing it anyway. And we see elsewhere that Jesus tells his disciples, he says, I don't do anything that I don't see my Father doing or hear first from my Father. So we know this wasn't just Jesus reacting to the situation. This was Jesus fulfilling the heart and desire of God his Father, stepping into the place to eliminate the exploitation and stepping in and instead teaching and healing and edifying. And this was just the very beginning of what Jesus was doing to turn the system upside down in Jerusalem during this Holy Week.